Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Jane Gardner, and welcome to Solopreneur Success Strategies. And today it's System Saturday. And I apologize for my lights, but I got some new bulbs today, so we'll be looking at Google Analytics today, so we don't need to see much of me anyway. But for those of you who don't know, I'm Jane Gardner, and I work with my husband in our structural engineering firm over here in Western Canada. And about 3 years ago, I came out onto the internet to see how I could help others start their own home business. So today we're looking at Google Analytics because today is all about systems. And this is System Saturday. We've been looking at various systems. We'll be looking over them quickly again. But as well as systems, we have strategy on Sunday on Solopreneur Success Strategies. We also have Monday, which is Mindset Monday. Tuesday is Get Your Message Out, which is all about your brand and your messaging. Wednesday is all about your customer and dominating their world. Thursday is about the skills and knowledge you need to be as a Jack or Jill of all trades Thursday. And Friday is Freebie Friday, where we look at some of the free software and tools you can use in your business. So if you want to have a look at any of the previous shows, you can go to jgtips.com/YouTube and look at my playlist channel of Solopreneur Success Strategies at Jane Gardner. So let's go and have a look and see what we're doing, what we've been doing actually, and what we will be doing today. So this is in the middle of my slides, so I'll just go back and tell you that this is System Saturday, and we're looking at automating and organizing your business systems. We've looking at how business systems will allow you the time to grow your business by getting more clients. So it frees up your time so you can get more clients. And systems can also free up your time so you can spend more time with your family or friends while your business works for you. And so some of the systems that we've been looking at is organizing your computer, tracking your financials. We haven't done that one yet. Automating or systematizing your marketing. We've done that one. So you can go back to my YouTube channel and have a look at that one. Automating your selling process. We haven't done that one yet. And communicating with your subscribers and clients. We've done that one, and that's about email autoresponders. So yes, we have to look at computer file organization, some of the backup systems you can use, operating procedures binder, and email autoresponder systems. And right now we're looking at your website as a control management system, and some of the SEO optimization tools you can create as a system in your website, and plugins for different functions you can use to systematize your website, and social media posting tools. We had a look at that as well. And right now we're looking at some of the analytical and testing tools you can use in your website in order to figure out how your website is doing, in order to change and respond to any changes you need to. Then we'll be looking at the payment systems you can set up, as well as selling systems you can set up. So I guess I better put financial systems in there because it's missing. And so we've looked at Google Analytics. It's a freemium web analytics service offered by Google that tracks and reports your website traffic, and it's at analytics.google.com. And inside, you can look at what countries are coming to your website, what visitors, how many unique ones are coming, what repeat visitors are coming to your website. You can look and see what search engines are referring your visitors to your website, what the behavior of the visitors are as they have a look at your website, as well as how are they accessing your business. Is it on their smartphone, their tablet, their laptop, or their desktop? Google Analytics also can tell you what web browser they're using and which pages of your site attract the most traffic, and what type of content engages your prospects and keeps them on your site, and what kind of content has them leaving in a hurry. And of course, which of your marketing strategies are the most and least effective. So we briefly had a look at who is linking to your website. There's various tables as well as reports, and how much mobile traffic you were getting. There's some sample ideas there. And we also looked at where you're getting your highest conversions. You can set that up. I haven't set that up myself, so we won't be looking at that, but those are some of the things that you can do. And Google Analytics is available anytime for you to get reports from the data it collects on your website. So what a system is that? It can really help you in your marketing to know how people are responding to your messaging and whether they're coming to your website and buying things. But I haven't set that up. So when we look at mine live, we won't be looking at that, but let's go and have a look at, I'll get this one out of the way and open up my slide 2. And this is my website data for jane-gardner.com. And when you open it up to the reporting section, you have various things that you can look at, and we won't be going over everything, but I'll have a look at some of the interesting ones like the audience. So for this is a month's worth of audience overview report. And as you can see, there's quite a complexity to what they can actually tell you. They have graphs. So they tell you how many sessions that people have done over, I think that's September 29th to October, we'll say 27th. How many people have visited is a session. So there's 343 sessions. I had 87% new visitors and 12.8% returning visitors, which is excellent. I had 302 users, and they looked at 781 pages and 2.2 pages usually per session. And the average session duration was, almost a minute. So the bounce rate was 6.7%, and most of them, of course, were 87% were new users. And what's interesting, of course, is that you can look at the demographics of your visitors. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And most of them were, 82% of them were U.S. English. So I had most of them probably coming from the U.S. And then I had some other languages, including French. And then let's have a look at the countries that they came from. So 71% of them are coming from the United States, 13% are coming from Canada, 5% from United Kingdom, and then very small amounts from other countries. So I'll have to look at maybe making my a website a bit more amenable to the countries, because I certainly want visitors from other countries. They can even look at cities. I'm not sure how, but they do. Maybe because of the user is that's a local, so that's me, I'm Haney. And anyway, then you can look at what browser they used when they came to the website, and 76% of them were using their Chrome browser, and 7% were using the Safari. And of course, Edge is a new one for Microsoft, so there's only 2% of that. And then the operating systems, 62% were on Windows and 22% were on Macintosh. For those of you on audio, just so you know, I'll read some of them out. And 4% were on Android, and iOS is smartphone, I think, for iPhone. So that's 3.79% were on the operating system for that. And then you can even tell you what service providers, which are basically companies, sometimes they can tell you 63% coming from not set. And then there's a small amount coming from various ones. That might be fairly useful. And 53% were using Android percent of sessions, and 46.43 were using the iPhone when they were using mobile. And well, then you can also look at the provider for it and the screen resolution. So this is interesting in that 360 by 640 is a screen resolution that 32% of them were using. So you have to think about how that looks in terms of your website on mobile at 360 by 640. So yeah, that's actually quite interesting. I should have a look at that on Sunday. I'm looking at strategy and looking at mobile and how that works to be mobile ready on your website. So there you go. There's quite a bit of info there on just one page. And I thought the other interesting one is the demographics. You can look at your overview of your demographics. I'm not sure. I haven't enabled that. But here we go. 45% of them were female and 54 were male. And 27% of them were from 18 to 24. And 33.5 were 25 to 34. So that's interesting. I'll have to think a lot about that one. And yeah, that was, they're looking at the age and then the gender, their interests. I'm not sure how they figure that out, but it's always interesting to see. Let's see if we can get interest here. Maybe it's further up. No, it's interest reports. I haven't got those activated. So let's have a look at geographics of the audience. And in language, it's usually English US. 282% of them were English US, and 6.7% were English Great Britain new users. And my bounce rate wasn't bad, so hopefully they're watching a video and they're doing 2.21 or 2.2 pages, and that's always useful to find out. And let me have one of the ones that I enjoy looking at and is, well, locations sometimes can be very interesting to have a look at there might be some from Alaska, the US, obviously Canada, United Kingdom, and I think I mentioned Philippines, Romania, India, Qatar, Angola, and Australia. So the one that I like is behavior, because this is very interesting. Tells you how many people are coming per sessions each day, and new visitors 299, and returning visitors are 44. Let's see, where is the engagement? There probably isn't very good engagement. Usually it's 10 seconds duration. 25 of them, no, 3 of them had 1801 seconds. There's a good one where it shows you which pages they're looking at. I'll just quickly go through. But as you can see, there's quite a lot of information here to have a look at and work on. Oh, user flow. That's the one I like, I think. Here we go. I like this one just because it's graphic. So this shows you which website they come to and where they fall off. So this should be, oh no, here it is. This is 245 sessions from the United States. They went to the home page, and the home page is where I have my blog, so they're probably going to a blog that I'm sending them to, and then they would drop off, or they go and they look at some of the other pages and continue on. So that's not too bad that they're having some interactions with other pages. Oh, and you can't see that anyway, so. And then, of course, there's a thing where you do acquisitions and conversions, but I didn't set that up. So the behavior one shows you the behavior flow of them with your website, which is important to figure out because what I do with my website is I have each day a blog post that I send them to, saying it's today's blog post. So they are responding by going and clicking on that link and going exactly to that blog post. And then they may or may not go and look at some other pages. So that's awesome. Or they even go on to a third page. So my behavior flow is getting better because I don't know why. But anyway, we'll think of that. We'll have to do some analysis of my Google Analytics. But as you can see, this sort of tells you the interaction of people with your website. And let's go back and say, this is totally awesome. This is a lot better than it used to be. But then I've been working with it for about 4 months, trying to get people to come to my website. It's quite a challenge sometimes. So this is one of the Google Analytics can tell you a lot about your website and the people that are coming to your website. And of course, there will be other tools that I'll show you maybe briefly next week. But this one is one of the best ones because, first of all, it's free. It's by Google, so they'll always be wanting to update it. If you didn't notice, let me go back. You don't see it, but it says, oh yeah, it doesn't come down. It says improvements are coming soon to Google Analytics UI. So they're going to make it easier for you to read it so that more people use it and so that they can get more information about your website as well as you getting more information about your website. So let's go and have a look at slide 1 again. And so, yeah, it's available anytime to get reports. So it's a system. You just go back and you can look at a week, you can look at a day, you can look at a month and just see how it's going with everything. And it's awesome. So I have an offer for Automate Your Business, and it looks like I'm going to be adding Google Analytics into here on how to set it up and then analyze with using Google Analytics. But it's all about automating your business so that you free up your time in order to grow your business as well as spend more time with your family. And that's at jgtips.com/automation. And we'll be looking at some of the ways to automate chores and organize your computers so it's easier to find things. Some of the minimal website optimized plugin tools you might want to use, and how to set up an automated email system, how to set up an operating procedures binder quickly using templates, how to keep your computer and your WordPress files secure, as well as, of course, it looks like Google Analytics as well we'll be looking at. But if you want to go and have a look at some of those previous free episodes, you can go to jgtips.com/YouTube and subscribe and see the other episodes of the Saturday show. So you can look just back in time and you'll see they're all listed there with titles, so you can see which one you'd be interested in to have a look at. And just put one of these systems into your business and it'll save you time and money. So please consider subscribing, commenting, and liking my YouTube channel, as well as coming and interacting with me on my website at janegardner.com. And I have implement.club, where we are looking at implementing these various strategies, including automation, in order to grow your business. So that's it for me today. I'm going to be looking at some of the, how to look at what's called Hotjar, how to look at what your user is doing on your actual homepage. You can have a look at where they've come in and they move around their mouse, and you can see how they're interacting with your website by looking at it. So that's another tool that you can use in your business in order to optimize your website. And I'll think of a couple more to use next week. So thank you very much for listening. And this is Jane Gardner of jane-gardner.com.